And we're back, Between Two Yetis, with...
Tim Davey. Well, you're supposed to give me a cue. I mean, sorry. Hey, we got off to a good start, right?
And we're back. And we're back, Between Two Yetis, here in the heart of Fort Lauderdale at
Propagation Airways.
Propagation Airways hangar here in Fort Lauderdale with one of the nicest men in yachting, Mr. Tim Davey.
Oh, okay, yes.
That's a good job. I followed it up quickly,
You did well, you did well.
How are you doing, sir?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's been years waiting for you to become available because you're always all over the world.
Yeah, you know, it's been an interesting ride, staying busy and growing the company and having fun while you're doing it.
You said the other day, how many miles you got on your thing?
Just this year I'm at 250,000 with just American Airlines, just bobbing around the world.
That's 10 times. How many miles is it around the... Yes, that's 10 times around the world.
It's about that, yeah, and 3 million miles with American Airlines, but that's nothing to boast about because that means I'm not here, I'm not home, and having fun with people like you, you know?
Are you married?
Yes, darling, I am.
And does she go with you a lot of the time?
No, she's raising the two little nippers and having fun doing it too.
I guess that's one of the...
Southwest to Tampa. So I know my flights.
How do you know that one? You just know the
I never let the truth get in the way of a good story. Come on, Lee, you know that.
So hold on, so you're British, right?
Oh, please, cut. New Zealand. Kiwis, rugbies.
We might need to start again.
The Rugby World Cup is happening this year in Japan. Now, this is an advert for the Rugby World Cup, and the New Zealand All Blacks will win. You heard it here.
I could have sworn you were British.
Can I leave now?
Really could have sworn you were British. All right, so you're Kiwi. And it's amazing.
You've been to my office and seen the All Blacks paraphernalia
Yeah,
around.
but I'm British and I love the All Blacks too.
Okay, well, yeah, because your team's not much.
Yeah, because we're useless, so I prefer to support somebody. Yeah, Jonah Lomu.
Yeah.
He was back in the days when I was really following it.
Yeah.
What is it? So then, okay.
American Airlines to Chicago.
So how did you get into the marine industry?
My career actually started out life as a chef, and I went lucky enough to go and work in the Savoy Hotel in London. Got an apprenticeship there, and one day I was out. Savoy in London, yeah. And one day I was out in the river room doing some gueridon cooking, which is flambe cooking in front of guests and things. And I met a recruiter.
That's the Hitachi type thing.
Oh, yeah. No, well, this is flambe, baked Alaskas, and...
This sounds like a high-quality Benihana.
I don't think I've ever heard the Savoy being referred to as a high-quality Benihana, but yes.
Okay, the experience sounds similar.
Yeah, you must be from the east end of London then. No, I'm just kidding. But I met a recruiter there from Cunard Line, and basically invited me to go and interview for Cunard and go and get a job on the QE2, which at the time was the world's most famous cruise ship.
So the QE2 is the Queen Elizabeth II?
Yeah.
So that's not the Queen's boat, that was...
No, the royal yacht was Britannia. And QE2 belonged to Cunard Line. Cunard Line had 3 vessels at the time, Cunard Countess, Cunard Princess, and the QE2. And I was lucky enough to secure a job with them.
And I've just realised something actually. The QE2 set the bar very high for what people in England expect a cruise to be like.
Yes.
And then when they go to a celebrity cruise or a Norwegian, it's not the glamour that we were sold that on. Well,
that might have been true back in the day, but right now those 2 cruise lines that you've just mentioned, fine quality standard. So yes, QE2 would have set the bar, but now everybody else has come up.
But everybody expects it to be like Titanic and a tuxedo and everything, and everyone's really on holiday.
Yeah.
It's a beach holiday on a boat.
It is. It's a great way to have a vacation, especially if you're doing a transatlantic cruise. 5-6 days on the ocean.
I've often thought instead of flying, just do that.
Yeah, far more relaxing. And if you want to lose your mother-in-law at the same time, it's a great way to do that. Oops. So,
whose cough is that? So
JetBlue to Atlanta.
So how long were you on the QE2 for?
So only a couple of years on the QE2, but I bounced around the other vessels in Cunard's fleet, and I came up through the hotel department, eventually ending up on a vessel called Royal Viking Sun, where I was chief purser and I looked after all the cash on board and the cabins and so forth.
Hang on, so what did you train as then?
Well, I started out life as a chef, but I also took accountancy exams at school.
Right.
And right before I was due to go and join the Cunard Countess, they needed somebody in the purser's office. It was an officer's position, single cabin, great money, and I was a 21-year-old. Who's going to say no to that?
Good Lord.
So
Jamie Oliver should have taken some notes from you, actually, shouldn't he?
well, he might have a restaurant or two now.
Yeah.
But no, I really enjoyed my time at sea. As a young guy bobbing around the world, literally seeing the world, having fun and getting paid, it was fantastic.
I imagine I've known a few people who work. My mum used to work on a cruise ship.
Okay.
How old are you?
Really? That's a bit of a personal question.
You're a guy, you know.
Yeah, 51.
51. All right, so you're 20 odd years younger than my mother. She used to work on I can't remember. They used to do the Bahamas trip back and forth to Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, the Sea Escape ferries?
No, this is way back in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
So,
Gotcha.
But she always said it was a great community. You go off on they used to go on, I'm trying to remember now, like 2 or 3 weeks at a time in the circle, and then all the crew and the entertainment staff and everybody, you all really bond. And it's sort of like, as I sort of think of it, like working on a film. You're with a group of people working on a specific project.
Yeah.
And not everybody gets on, but everybody has the combined experience.
Yeah, it's a real camaraderie. I mean, you're all there to serve the same purpose, to look after those guests for that 3 days, 4 days, or the week that they're on board. Was it the Big Red Boat that she was on?
The
Premier Cruise Line?
She'll kill me. Do you ever watch Only Fools and Horses?
Yes.
Do you remember Grandad always used to say, during the war?
Right.
My mum's always saying, when I was on the cruise ship. So that's our family. I can't remember it. So, right. At the end of your cruise ship career, where did you go?
So, came ashore to do port operation planning and shore excursions for the cruise line.
In England?
No, it was down here in Miami. So I was in Miami. I'd met my wife at the time, and we'd decided to settle down here in Florida. So started out the cruise career.
You've already started traveling.
Oh, yeah.
Tons by the time, you're 22, 23?
Yeah. To make matters worse, I grew up in Fiji. So even though I'm a Kiwi, went to school in Fiji and then back to New Zealand for some education.
Is Fiji everything the water tells you it is?
Yeah, mate, you got to get there. Absolutely. It's a wonderful place. And the Fijian people are the most friendly people in the world. And combine that with the beautiful blue ocean.
I've only ever had... Where the hell is Fiji?
It's in the South Pacific.
Okay.
It's about 3 hours flight from New Zealand.
Oh, wow. So in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Fiji's made up of 365 islands, one island for every day of the year. But anyway, I digress. Don't know where I was going then, actually.
You've already started globetrotting.
Yeah. So came ashore to work here for the cruise line, port operation and shore excursion planning.
In Lauderdale or down in Miami?
Down in Miami. And then we went through a whole series of layoffs and things just before September 11th. And I was a casualty of that, and so was my wife. We had
before September 11th?
Yeah, just before September 11th. So then we had this really funny dinner at home. Hey, you got a job? No. You got a job? No. Damn, what are we going to do?
You got kids as well?
Not at this point. Not at this point. So I could still do a runner at that point, but, Anyway, I didn't. I'm still here. Delta out to Atlanta.
Okay.
Anyway, at that point I decided that I didn't want to work for anybody else again. And I want to have my destiny in my own hands. And I always had this crazy idea, it was to solve a problem that I had when I was a crew member on a cruise ship. And that was my own personal travel. You know, I came up in the good old days of Cunard where we would work 2 months on, 1 month off. So in your month off, you didn't always want to go home. And by that time, my mum was sick of me anyway. So, you know, it was like, I'd like to go and see South Africa. I'd like to go around parts of Europe on the holiday and things. But who's there to help me do that? So I started making some inquiries and doing your research as you do when you start a company. And I discovered private yachts. And I didn't know much about them until then.
Having been in Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah.
You didn't know about them?
Well, you see them, but you don't understand the business.
I've met people who've lived here all their lives, and like I'm in the super yacht industry, and they're like, the what industry? The super yacht industry. You know, that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
big
a thing.
White things.
Yeah. So you were the same sort of thing. It was
exactly. And once you go out and you start talking to people, and you find out the crews are made up of Kiwis, Aussies, Brits, South Africans, a few Americans here and there. And it's such a friendly industry, easy to talk to people. Mm-hmm. And I started asking the question, hey, how do you guys do your travel? And the common theme coming back was, we always have a problem. You know, communication, 24-hour service. You know, there's not one person that puts their hand up and says, we'll help you. So that formed the basis of the idea of starting Global Marine Travel.
This is 2000?
2001.
Okay.
We incorporated on December 12th, 2001.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So what's that now? 18 years down the track and still going strong.
So how did you start? Just being like a travel agent?
Yeah, found out what it took to get a license. And actually I needed some equity, so I went out and got an equity partner. His name is Jerry Harrod. For those of you guys in the yachting business might have been familiar with a few of the boats that he's owned, and presented the idea to him. He, JetBlue to Los Angeles. Jerry cottoned on to the concept very quick because he himself, by owning a boat, knew that the problems of traveling, getting guests out to his vessel, and also managing his own crew. So we started out servicing in the private yacht business. And it took off really quickly. We got our advertising out there. We were networking, shaking hands and kissing babies, as I like to say, and letting people know that there's somebody that understands crew and what crew have to do. You know, they need to be at the boat at a certain time, and the travel associated with that.
But what's nice about your company is you can pick up the phone.
Yeah. I always like to have a live person on the other end of the phone.
Well, it's like the whole world's gone towards automation and doing it on a website and never really engaging. But with travel, it always goes wrong. Sorry, it always has the potential to go wrong.
Yeah. Well, you know, yeah, exactly. There's a million things that could go wrong. Like a plane coming into your photo shoot. But this is Propagation Airways, one of our partners.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, we'll come back to your story in a minute. Let's just quickly talk about Tropic.
Tropic's a great partner with us. Relatively new airline, 14 aircraft right now, seaplanes, and
good on purpose.
Yeah.
We're back in the room.
And we're talking about our partners, Propagation Airways, who flew in here. And by partners, I say, you know, it's their business and we sell their product. And
but they were just explaining it makes sense getting people on and off and 2 boats.
Oh, sure.
Float there.
Yeah,
Fly
look,
and float.
one of the things that we've done with them is...
Dear God. That's not one of your marketing slogans, is it? Fly. Fly and float. 3 Fs. No.
Not one.
Oh, glad this is a children's program.
Fun, yeah. Fly, fun, and float.
And everybody watching knows exactly what you meant. So
Maybe.
But some of the things that we've done with these guys is charter them, put provisions on, put crew members on. We've put guests on other ones, and fly them down to the islands and land behind the private yacht. The yacht sends out its tender. We offload people onto the tender and the supplies and so forth, and we get them onto the yacht in a very unique way.
It's part of the experience.
Oh, it's
Instead of going with
a great concept.
with one of the
Who wants to go to a grotty airport?
Yeah.
And,
get there 3 hours before you take off and all that.
Yeah, it's a fantastic use, and sincerely mean it that I'm really proud to see the progress Tropic has made
How long have you been going?
such a short time. Skylar, how long you guys been going?
Almost 9 years.
9 years.
Oh, okay.
But
But it's amazing. Today, 14 planes and they're all out.
yeah.
We've had to pull these 2 in specially for us.
Some of the other things that we've done, flowing contractors on charters from Fort Lauderdale Airport over to Grand Bahama to the dry dock. We've had vessels in there with mechanical problems, and the scheduled flights just don't work out. But we can call these guys. They've got a plane on standby, and off we go. So we've chartered them a few times for that use.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, there's the end of our promotion.
Good.
Back to your life. So you were in 2001. You just got your license.
And started getting the word out about GMT.
And this was just walking the docks. This is just...
And those days we could walk the docks and...
yeah, because it's kind of frowned upon now, isn't it?
Yeah, and for all the right reasons, security and so forth.
And people haven't got time. I was speaking to a couple of captains and they're like, I do not want to waste half an hour talking to somebody about saving the boss $20 a month on satellite service.
Right.
And so they're appreciative that dock walking is very much frowned upon. But back in the day...
Back in the day it was okay, and also we did a lot of events. And we still do a lot of events today, because it's our way to say thank you for your business. And at the same time promoting it, what it is that we do, which, good service. Sorry, Savoy Airways to Grand Bahama Island right now, as a matter of fact.
Is there a word for somebody like you? Like there's plane spotters?
Oh, yeah. No, I won't go into that. Again, It's a children's show. But running events has really got us recognised. The captain's hideout was an original concept from us.
So that was you?
Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing before that, was there?
Yeah, we've come around to the boat shows, and it's really the captains and their crews that help make the boat show. They're the guys standing off the back of the yacht, looking presentable in their nice uniforms and sweating in the hot sun, and then at the end of the day, they can't go back to their cabins and relax because the boat's been shown to a potential charterer or a buyer. So we decided, hey, let's give the captains and crew something really nice to get away from the show. Give them some nice food, some beverage, a massage, the use of Wi-Fi, opportunity to network with some of their colleagues.
So how did that get sold to BI then? Did they just make an offer to you?
Yeah, I didn't know I could sell it until they came along.
It generally was one of the most special parts of the Monaco show. Just going down the stars. And Fort Lauderdale one, I don't think you quite had the right
Yeah,
feel
behind
to it.
Bahia Mar, yeah.
But Monaco, it was sought after to get in there. It really was good.
Yeah, no, it was a great time, and again, our way to say thank you for the business.
Yeah.
So it's evolved now, and we run it under a brand called Oasis, and we just have it at Fort Lauderdale show.
You're not going to try Monaco?
Well, Monaco, they have their own version now.
Okay.
The show owners do a really good job.
And Captain's Hideout completely ended then?
Yeah, BI still own the name, as far as I know, but they don't run it as one of their own events at the moment. So, you know, each to their own.
Yeah. But back to when you started then, it was you and your wife?
Yep.
Picking up the phones, doing all the...
Yeah, she was a good-looking one. And, you know, I hired a couple of people right away, obviously travel agent trained, that know how to use the airline reservation system. Her name was Robin Barnwell.
Robin Barnwell.
Yep.
Is she still with you?
No, she's not. She's retired and living with a boyfriend up in Arkansas.
Okay.
So, you know, but great times. A lot of our staff have been with us a long time. I've got people who've been with us 14, 15 years. Spirit Airways, going somewhere nobody else wants to fly to.
That's their speciality.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things about the marine industry. If you've got staff that have been with you for 10, 15, 20 years, you're a very, not trustworthy, but you're a company that actually is of note. A lot of these companies, that, especially in Fort Lauderdale, everyone's in and out, and it's
right.
like the turnover is ridiculous. But when you meet a company like Quantum, for instance,
Yep.
they've been there for almost all their career, so it's very comforting. And I think I definitely get that feel from you guys.
Yeah, you've been into the office. You've seen. It's not uncommon to see a golf ball go rolling down the corridor, or a rugby ball getting thrown around. You know, we do like to mix it up and have a bit of fun. But being a travel agent is not Allegiant Airways.
It's amazing how
going to Orlando. Yeah.
This is like one every 2 minutes. I wasn't expecting that.
But being a travel agent is really a specialty job. The internet has made everybody their own travel agent.
It has.
It's
Do you have to
easy.
be trained to be a travel agent?
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you have to be licensed?
No, they don't have to be licensed. The management, the owners have to hold the license.
Oh, okay.
But the agents who do the work, and many of the viewers will interact and have agents that they go to all the time. They're not actually licensed, but they're trained. And we're trained to go directly into the airline's inventory and have a look at what seats are available, and to make suggestions and options to our clients from there.
It's so different because you're right. You know, the likes of those that shall not be named are teaching us to do their job. It's like going into a supermarket now. You have to buzz your own thing.
Yeah, exactly. But the cycle's interesting because when it first started, the airlines were all encouraging the public to go direct to them, and people did. Booked on holidays and flights. But the cycle's coming back now where the travel agent and the service that we provide is far superior than what the airlines can provide. So we're getting more and more people coming back using the traditional travel agent services. For instance, try calling an airline and getting a live person and explaining that you want to make a change on a ticket, or you want to refund it, or void it and go on a different day. You'll spend hours on the phone waiting for the right person, whereas we're there right away.
So just quickly back to the name. So you were ISS. And we're going to pull off the ISS. So what is the ISS?
So I started the company, and after 8 years, a company called Inchcape Shipping Services came along and basically made an offer to buy the company. And this was at a time when the market was starting to crash, and shipping was in a bit of a problem. And at that point, we had expanded from private yachts. We were also doing commercial cruise line crews, cargo ships, cruise lines as well.
Do you know how many people a year you settle?
We're 130,000 plus easily. But that's just one way. They've all got to come back and things like that. So JetBlue. And that one's actually going down to St. Martin.
I won't ask how you know these things, but you do.
Yeah, Julia's standing behind me with a board that's saying all this.
So Inchcape came and
Yeah,
and they
Inchcape
bought
came
you.
along and they bought me.
But this is where you were shrewd, because you stayed in it.
Yeah, well, I had an earn out, but this is a business that I love. And I really enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy the people that I meet on the airline side. I enjoy my colleagues that I work with. And I enjoy being out there with the customers. It's variety as well.
Yeah.
One day I'm talking to a cruise line customer, next day I'm on a private yacht somewhere, or I'm down meeting a customer in the oil business somewhere. You know, it really is diverse. I like what I'm doing. So it wasn't a hardship to stay in the business.
So the Inchcape brought in what? They brought in a whole new client base.
Yeah, they did, in the commercial shipping world
Right.
for us. And so after 5 years of Inchcape's ownership, they did a strategic deal with a company called V Group. V for Victor Group, and they own V Ships. And V Ships is the world's largest vessel management company. So they manage everything from cargo ships, cruise lines. They have catering contracts on oil rigs.
Wow, okay.
And just on their own, they have 44,000 crew members that they
hell.
fly around. So when you merge our volume with their volume, we've become a large travel company, 200,000 odd
You
travelers
just said
a year.
you've made, what list have you made? You made the top 50 or something.
Oh yeah, so Travel Weekly, which is a big travel agent magazine, once a year they publish a list of the top 50 travel agents in the United States, and we came in at number 47. And that's the first time we've made that list. But yeah, quite a career accomplishment actually for all of us in our little family that made GMT to become, in the top 50 in the US. So quite proud of that.
And how many people work there now?
We are exactly 203 worldwide. Yeah.
God almighty.
So yeah, and having fun.
And they're in Glasgow, and we
Yep.
met some of the
We got Glaswegians.
Glaswegians.
And they don't really speak English, but they're doing best.
It's
They're
a
doing the
hybrid
best.
form.
Monaco, Cyprus,
We actually have an
Dubai.
office in Monaco.
Yeah, Monaco is the headquarters for V Group and V Ships. So we have a travel office within that office in Monaco. And this
That's
is hard for
strategic,
me.
isn't
When
it?
I say to my wife, I'm off to Monaco for business, it's like, oh yeah, sure, but the office really is there.
No, honest son.
Yeah. We have offices in Singapore. Our largest office is in Manila in the Philippines, because that's the predominant base of workers on board cruise ships.
It's amazing. The Philippines really are taking over the service side of
Oh, yeah.
yachting, aren't they? Well, not so much. Well, sort of.
There's
but-
more and more Filipinos coming into yachting, yes. But they've got the training, they've got the demeanor, they're hard workers, and they always have that bright, smiley face. So they're a great nationality to be
You
working
missed out
with.
one other feature there. Fantastic feature. It's small enough that the bunks are the right size.
See, I'm being diplomatically correct.
Well, no, but the Dutch and the Kiwis and Australians, everyone's like 6'5", and so they just don't fit.
Yeah, no, fair enough. It's they're wonderful people to work with.
Oh God, they are some of the. I think she's not waving at us. One of my cousins, their nanny used to be a Filipino woman called Frances. And
Right.
Holy hell. They're marvellous people.
Yeah, no. So yeah, one of our biggest clients, Norwegian Cruise Line, they're 14,000 Filipinos. So it's understandable that we concentrate on them,
Yeah.
and we service them out of our office in the Philippines. And we track the crew as they move. So if something happens along the way, that we try and get out in front of it. Especially with cruise line crew and cargo crew, the ship's not going to wait for them. They need to be there on time.
Yeah. Bloody hell. So for you then, you're going to be in this for
I'm going to, until V gets sick of me and wants to kick me out. But, as I said earlier, I love what I'm doing, and we've got a long way to go. We're in the middle of doing some acquisitions right now. So looking at buying another travel agency. Because we're just in discussions with them, I won't go into that further.
What, to take their client book or to take their staff? Or?
Everything. To buy their company out and merge it into Global Marine Travel. And the idea is that the larger we get, the better access to airfares that we get, the better types of airfares, the better discounts that we get. And I just pass those down the line and keep giving good value to our customers.
You're all heart, Tim.
I am. And I'm a salesman, and I'm a BSer at heart, and you know that.
Oh, dear. So now you employ two of our favourite people, Julia.
Yep.
And Mr. O'Brien.
Sean O'Brien. He's a great man, good sense of humour, and can't keep him down.
Where is he today?
Well, somebody's manning the fort.
Oh, somebody's got to be back there.
Exactly. So, no, Sean's been with us, I'd say, nearly 10 years now. And one thing I like about him is every day is humorous day. He comes in with a good smile. And
I tell you what about Sean, you can tell that he loves his job.
Yeah.
I mean, there aren't a few people that you can see that in somebody's face, but with him you can. Julia, she's just always happy, so...
Yeah, but look, it takes a whole team to create a company, and we have a nice, friendly culture, and I think it encourages people to stay around.
Yeah.
You know, you have your ups and downs as any family does, but at the end of the day, you keep cool and calm, and you sort through whatever issue it is, and you have to have a bit of fun, and that's what we're all about.
And this is where the rugby sort of comes in, because am I right in thinking that every time there's a rugby match during a boat show, you're the one airing it?
Well, yeah, the last few years.
You or Martin, isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah, well, Martin's great. He comes in when he can't find anywhere else to watch it. So yeah, this year with the Rugby World Cup, we're going to be hosting over at Waxies for the quarterfinals and the finals.
Is Waxies reopened now then?
Yes, Waxies is reopened, and if you've not been in to see the new bar, it's well worth it.
Is it the same as it was, just
No,
clean?
It's a completely different setup.
Right.
And smells better than it did before.
Okay. Is it still an Irish pub though? Or
It is an Irish pub.
Okay. They haven't Americanized it.
No, not really. And look, come on, Mark, who owns Waxies, he's as Irish as they come, and
You wouldn't let that happen.
And he's definitely made it Irish, that's for sure.
Oh, blind. Now, our tour.
Yes.
Thank you very much for being you're powering us on our journey.
Yes, we were actually told by one of your family members to try and lose you along the way somewhere. So,
it's a direct flight, so...
Yeah, happy to help. And you're doing it for all the right reasons too.
Well, this is the thing, and the point of what we do on Between Two Yetis is to, and I was just explaining this to one of the people going on the tour, is to a tender company, and they make tenders for super yachts, and they're $1.5 million a tender. It's a very expensive little boat. But we're not going there to look at the boat. We're going to go there to meet the people who are making the boat.
Right.
And so it's showing how far the money goes from one guy buying a $100 million boat, how far around the world that permeates. And to guys like this, I mean, the guys who are doing all the services on the planes, they're directly benefiting from somebody chartering a boat, or somebody buying a boat, or somebody needing provisions, or whatever it is. So it's a completely different look at the industry that everybody else has gone for, and it should be great.
Look, fantastic. You know, the United States Super Yacht Association and the MIASIF, they will all get in behind the work.
What? MIASIF?
Marine Industries Association of South Florida.
I've never heard MIASIF before.
Really?
You've only ever seen it written. It's MIAS.
Hey, I'm a Kiwi.
There's your...
But the associations should be getting in right in behind that sort of work that you're doing, because you know, they're always displaying the numbers, and it's incredible. You know, one private yacht and the amount of jobs it helps to supply in the industry, not just here in Fort Lauderdale but worldwide,
all around the world,
is amazing. So yeah, what you're doing and talking to the people and hearing their stories behind it as well, how they started and where they're going in future. It's a really interesting subject. So thank you for promoting the industry for us.
Yeah, well, no, we're on a 10-year mission, so...
Okay.
I'm sort of considering this is like year 1. So.
Gotcha. Well, come back and see us on year 10, okay?
Yeah.
A few more grey hairs by then.
Tim, wonderful to see you.
Thank you,
sir.
Appreciate it.
Right, now B-roll, did I miss anything? Hold on. She gave me a list of things I had to